Welcome to Reality of the Rose with your host, Natalie Sprink.
Hey everyone, welcome to episode 210 of Reality of the Rose. I'm your host, Natalie Sprink. Thanks for joining me today. It's going to have a little bit of a shorter episode for you today. I guess I'm going to go over a couple shows that I'm watching, actually just barely, but I've said this several times, and I guess it's just part of my podcast journey. Let's use bachelor jargon. But I'm trying to find a way to expand my podcast more than only reality TV, whether I tie in reality TV to it or just have it in addition to. And I've just kind of been thinking about it, chat GPTing it. You all know how much I love that word. I can't say it. Chat GPT. Okay. He's helped me a little bit, or she, whichever. And I'm going to try to I don't know. I also have an intention always of wanting to be relatable, possibly bring some humor to everyday life situations, make normalizing, being self-aware and self-deprecating while still, holding grace for yourself. And so I have a couple ideas in mind, and I still would like to tie them into my Reality of the Rose podcast title. I don't want to give up talking about reality TV. I started recapping Traitors with Tyler last week. I think we're going to wait to have another recap about the next few episodes until possibly next week with him again. But until then, I thought maybe, since I'm called Reality of the Rose, doing an occasional what my recent life Rose and Thorn is, and talking about some things in my life that, that have been highlights and lowlights, or maybe just having my reality of the week or my reality of the day, and talking about maybe a funny moment or something that's happened to me that maybe is super relatable, but is just an everyday occurrence, and you may go, oh my God, that happened to me too, or I hate when that happens, or make it relatable, make it funny, make it seem like you're not alone in something or another. So, I got a splinter. That's relatable. Since it is -12, it was -12 here this morning. And so I'm definitely starting a fire in the fireplace tonight. So carrying wood up from the basement to do that. I know that here I am jumping around. I know that it's cold all around, around the whole nation right now. We're going through this cold snap everywhere, but it's effing cold here. It was -12 this morning. This weekend, today it might have gotten to 2, but I think by the last I saw on Friday, our high is supposed to be -10, our high. And I've heard reports of -22 regular temps, but then wind chills of -40. That's just wild. That's just plain crazy. But yeah, so splinter, that's relatable. See, there we go. That's my first relatable thing for the podcast. I got it out too, just by the way. So anyway, I have these ideas. I also want to make them maybe just a tad bit shorter. I know that probably the, what's the word? Oh my God. If I just could think of words, this podcast wouldn't last so long all the time. Attention span. There we go. The attention span of people gets shorter and shorter all the time. And sometimes I think I love to sit here and talk to myself on this podcast, but maybe all of y'all don't like to hear me talk for that long and are just like, just get on with it, please. That being said, if you all have any topics you'd like me to talk about, or things you'd like to hear me my opinion on, or my angle on, or how I handle this, or whatever the case may be, please, please, please comment in the comment portion of the podcast. Go to my Instagram and comment there, message me, go to my TikTok and message me, whatever the case may be. I'm trying to post more on TikTok again lately, so you might want to check that out. I'm Reality the Rose everywhere. Also, update on my New Year's resolution of not pulling out my eyelashes. I did really, really well until like the past 2 days, and I don't know why. I have no idea what has happened, but I am thinking again, and it's my hands are going up to my eyes. So not so I got this before, but I got myself another little fidget toy that just came in the mail today. So now I have 4 of them that I'm one for like everywhere I go. So I'm trying really hard with that. And also with the sweets thing, I think I'm doing really well. I have not cut out sweets altogether because I think that that's unrealistic, but I'm doing really well with them. I have a cookie because I always have to have a sweet after every meal. And I have a cookie every day at lunch, and I have, it just depends at night. I also found some sugar-free Werther's Originals, like these caramels, however you say it. And they're really good. And I will have one of those just to fill my sweet tooth. I also tried sugar-free Jolly Ranchers. Those are actually, I really like them. They don't really taste like Jolly Ranchers. They just taste like a completely different candy, but I think they're good. So I'll have like a couple of those. So that's really good. But like if we have sweets around here, like just this past weekend, we had the baby shower for Stevie Rose, my to-be granddaughter, step granddaughter technically, but if I don't have to say that, that would be great. So thank you for giving me that freedom on here at least. But had her, and we had her shower, which was really great and fun, and I can't wait for her to come. But we had cupcakes that were left over, so we have cupcakes here. So what I do, they're really, really, really good cupcakes. I'm typically not a cake fan, but these are good. The icing's really good too. And so I just cut one in half. So I have a half a cupcake. And then I also have this saltwater taffy. You can see I'm hyper focused on sweets. So if I keep thinking about them, I'm going to keep, but my willpower is being really good. I'll have like 2 of those. Like I might have a half of a cupcake and 1 saltwater taffy, or a half of a cupcake and sugar-free Jolly Rancher, or like 2 taffies. So I'm not cutting it out because I don't think I can do that. I could do that, but I don't want to do that. But I think it might be helping. Anyway, so today I'm going to have a rose and a thorn. Actually, maybe 2 thorns. My rose of the week, I guess it would be, is I was asked by a friend of mine to help her with some wardrobe choices. And I don't know if she's going to be listening or not, but you are my rose of the week. And I won't say her name because I think she's wanting to kind of keep this a secret. But she has been asked to do this little photo shoot for like women professionals. And she said, I have to have 3 different outfits. And she told me what like the outfits would be, like whether they're casual or dressy or professional business. And she's like, I don't really know. Will you help me? Like, what do you see me in? And what do you think would look good on me? That was such an honor for me that she thought to ask me, because I just picking out my own outfits every day, shopping, scrolling Instagram and looking at street style outfits and, putting things together is one of my favorite things ever. I always like, that would be an ultimate thing, is to somehow get into fashion in some way, shape, or form. And I'm not saying high fashion. I'm just saying like this was so fun for me. So what I did was I went on Pinterest and I had in my head, and I really tried to do that. I tried to think, okay, what do I see her in? Not what do I like and what would I wear, but what could I see her wearing like on a regular basis, or what would look good on her. And I would just, like search very specific things. And then I put those things on a board for her, one for each outfit change, and then sent her the Pinterest board. And I had so much fun. I took it so seriously, but just could have sat there. I got completely encompassed in it and probably spent way, way more time than I needed to on it. But it was so much fun, and it was just a highlight of my week. And so if you need help picking out any outfits for yourself, or you would like to say, I wonder what would look good on me. I just can't decide. I really don't know what to put together, or what I think would look good on me. Like, maybe give me a try. I won't charge you. I'll do it for free. And you just have to let me know. Maybe I can start a styling business. I'm really dreaming big here, but they say, like, if you manifest it and put it out there, sometimes it can happen. So, how can I work that into the podcast? If you have any ideas, let me know. But that was a highlight for me. You know how, too, when you have these, like, you yourself have a certain feeling about something, like me, for instance, with clothes and dressing and liking to look nice and liking to look stylish and liking to look modern and up to date and not looking like an old lady, or like I completely I don't even know, but what I'm trying to say, but like, I think that about myself, but I don't know if other people look at me and think the same thing, or think, oh yeah, it really is, you can really tell that she likes fashion and dressing up and street style and all that. But then when someone recognizes you for it, or when someone tells you that they really like your outfit, which I know that doesn't happen, that happens to like everybody, but when someone tells me that is just the biggest compliment to me. And even if they're just being kind of flippant about it, it really is. Or if they tell me that they love how I dress, but her asking me to help her with her outfit. And when I told her how excited I was for it, she was like, I knew I picked the right person to do this for me. So anyway, that was a high for me, because, we all kind of like to feel appreciated too. And I think that's stating the obvious, and we also like to feel like we actually are good at something. Because I don't feel, and again, this is no self-pity or anything, but I don't think I'm told very often, like, oh, you're really good at this, because I don't really think I'm good at that much, which, so it probably makes sense. But I don't hear that very often. And so if I do hear that, it just really sort of upticks me. And I don't know, that was just really, really nice. And so that was my highlight for the week. My two lows, thorns, that was my rose of the week. Sorry. I need to really interact and tie this in with my podcast name, title. Literally, that's going to be one of my upcoming topics, is my memory and my fear of getting Alzheimer's. It's a real fear of mine. Anyway, so then my thorns are twofold. One of my thorns is that my dad took a fall. It's almost been 2 weeks ago, I think, not quite. And like, this is a whole nother topic probably too, but it was just he's okay, but he fell on his hip and it really hurt his hip a lot. The thing that really like hit me with this is because my mom has had a lot of mobility and physical issues the past few years. And she is not very mobile anymore. And my dad, and I think I've talked about this on here before about how I really admire my dad because he's really, really stepped up and started doing things around the house that used to he would never do, like laundry and cooking and cleaning and things like that that my mom just can't do. She's getting a little better now, but and she was just couldn't do any of it. She had back surgery, and for a long time she just couldn't do anything. And like he totally stepped up. He'd go pick stuff out of the garden. He'd go hang clothes on the clothesline. They live where you can have a clothesline and you hang your clothes out. It smells so good. He would like water her flowers. Like he did all these things, and it just like made my heart so happy that he like it really to me showed his love for my mom because he just did it and without complaining, without any of that. And it's kind of, he still does a lot of that to an extent. Well, he fell and now he can't function very well. His hip hurt really bad. He did not break it that I know of. He was supposed to have a doctor's appointment yesterday, but he did not break it. But it really hurts him to walk. And it just really made me think about, like my parents and this whole sandwich generation that they talk about, where I'm not really taking care of my kids anymore, but my kids are on the younger side, but then my parents are kind of needing, help, and they're getting to that age, where they're going to the doctor more, they're having more physical ailments, when things can just go downhill fast and it's really scary. And I know there's a lot of people that can relate to this, and it's just something that you think. And then I have this bit of guilt feeling because I live 600 miles away, and there's not much I can do, for sure on a day-to-day basis or even on a week-to-week basis. And I have this guilt about that and not being able to help as much as maybe I'd like to help. And so I don't know, that was it was really a thorn because it just made me sad for several different reasons. And anyway, so say prayers for my dad. He's fine. He still functions fine. He still goes into work and like works all day long. I mean, he's 79 years old. He'll be 80 in like 2 weeks. So he's and he's very, very, both of my parents are very clear in their mind yet. So that makes me happy as well. So look for the bright sides, right? My other thorn for the week is, and I know that probably a lot of people can relate to this, but I'm not going to say who it is. I'm not even going to say the gender of this person, but I have this person that is in my life. And for some reason, I can't allow myself, this person very clearly, and I'm not just saying this, I know for a fact that this person does not care for me. Could care less if they ever spoke to me again. When I'm around, they are super cold. And, I can see it because if we're somewhere where there's other people, they don't treat anyone else that way. There's history, okay, but it's pretty ancient history. And I thought that the issues were resolved. But it seems that maybe they're not because I'm completely going based on how this person acts around me, and it seems to actually have gotten worse from when I thought that everything was resolved. And I just wish I knew why. And I wish I knew why this person is not more open to, I don't want to be best friends with this person. I don't want to be at all, but I just think it would be healthy if I could at least just like sit down and have a back and forth conversation with this person when it's necessary, when it seems like the normal kind thing to do. And I don't know why I let it bother me so much because I don't really even see this person that often, but it bugs the crap out of me and I just let it possess my mind. And I also don't know why. Like it's just one person. And really, if I had nothing to do with this person ever again, Um, I mean, for the most part, it wouldn't affect my life one way or another, really. But it just bothers me so much. And I don't know if anyone else has someone in their life this way and how to really deal with it. I finally started reading. I talked about this a couple podcasts ago when I talked about my New Year's resolutions, but I finally started reading The Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins, and I'm not that far into it, but so far I know that I could really apply this Let Them theory to this situation 100%. And recently, um, I'm talking about it because it was a recent time. It was recently that I experienced this with this person again, and I really tried to use this theory, and I feel like I accomplished it pretty well, but it's still deep down inside. Just wish I don't even know if I would approach this person directly again about it and say, look, I thought we resolved everything. What is happening? Like, I don't even know if it's worth it. Um, but anyway, it just makes me sad. Like I don't know what I did, who knows? Maybe there's other issues that I don't even know about. So yeah, I guess I'll just live with it. But um it's really hard, right? When there's a person that doesn't like you and you don't know why, and you just want to fix it. I hate that. I hate it because typically you can't control what other people do or say. You can only control what you do or say, and you have to just let them, you know, and not be mean. So I'm trying not to be like the reverse, and I'll still keep trying, even though I also don't want to be a doormat and whatever. So yeah, that was my thorn of the week. So that's it. I'm gonna go like sit by the fire, I think, and play with my new little fidget toy. And again, if anybody has any other things they'd like me to talk about on my podcast, or anything that you'd like to hear me address, anything at all, I would very much appreciate it. So until next time, please be calm, be strong, be kind, and be grateful. Bye. Later.